Welcome to the AI Brief from the YPO Technology Network. I'm Stephen Forte. Something strange is happening with artificial intelligence inside large companies. And this week, two very different sources described the same problem without either of them naming it out loud. A 2-year plateau in returns that has almost nothing to do with how good the technology has become, and almost everything to do with the ruler you are using to measure it. Here is the promise for the next few minutes. By the end, you will have a single question to put to your largest AI project and a good reason to distrust the number your team is almost certainly reporting to you today. Let me start with the plateau because it is stark. On the 21st of July, Domino Data Lab, an enterprise software company that sells the platform large firms use to build and run their own AI, published its 5th annual survey of the field. The fieldwork was done independently by an outside research firm, so this is not marketing dressed up as data. 639 senior AI leaders, director level and above, every one of them inside a company doing more than 100 million US dollars in revenue, spread across North America, the United Kingdom, and continental Europe. This is not an American story. It is your peers on 3 continents. The headline number is the one to hold on to. 57% of them said their AI returns still do not outpace what they are spending. And the word that matters most in that sentence is the one that sounds like nothing. Unchanged. That 57% has not moved since 2025. Now, you might reasonably assume the technology underdelivered, that the models were not ready, the demos oversold, the magic thinner than the pitch. That is the obvious read, and the very same survey rules it out. 93% of those leaders said their production capability improved this year, up from 88 the year before. The AI got better, the returns did not. Sit with that pairing for a second, because it is the whole episode. Capability up, returns flat, 2 years running. That is not a technology problem. The unit you are counting AI in is the wrong unit. And the clearest statement of that came, of all places, from the company with the most to gain from you, never noticing it. On the 17th of July, Sarah Friar, the chief financial officer of OpenAI, published something she called a scorecard for the AI age. Her phrase for what a company should actually track is useful intelligence per dollar. And buried in it is a sentence that should stop a chief executive cold. For years, she wrote, software success was measured through adoption, seats, active users, and renewals. Read that as a confession, because that is what it is. The entire software industry, OpenAI very much included, spent 2 decades teaching you to measure value by how many people logged in, seats sold, licenses active, renewal rates. For traditional software, that was a fair enough proxy because a tool nobody opened was a tool nobody valued. AI breaks that proxy completely. 1,000 of your employees can have an AI assistant open all day, every seat lit, every license active, the adoption chart, a beautiful diagonal line, and produce nothing you could defend in front of your board. Adoption and value have come unbolted, and the metric never noticed. Now, you might say, we are not amateurs. We already track return on investment. Here is the trap. What most companies call their AI ROI number is an adoption number wearing a suit. Usage, activation, time and tool, a vendor's engagement dashboard. It counts the logging in. It does not count the getting anything done. I want to give Friar real credit here, and I mean it. Her framework is self-serving in the most transparent way imaginable. She runs finance at the company that bills you for every unit of the very thing she is urging you to weigh more carefully. It is the house explaining how to count your chips. And it is still the most useful thing a technology vendor has said to a finance chief all quarter. Both of those are true at the same time. And a CEO who can hold both is going to make better decisions than one who only hears the cynical half. What she is actually proposing is that you stop counting inputs and start counting outcomes. Her scorecard is 4 questions, and they are refreshingly blunt. Is the AI completing work that actually matters? What does each successful task cost you? And she means the whole cost, the license, plus the human who checks the output, plus the times it had to be run twice. Can people depend on the result? And does each dollar buy more as you use it more or less? Strip all four to the spine, and it is one number: the cost of a successful outcome set against the value that outcome creates. Not seats, not tokens, not how productive everyone feels. The cost of a finished, trustworthy piece of work measured against what that work is worth. And how productive everyone feels is precisely the trap the rest of the week's data exposes. Deloitte, the professional services firm, surveyed more than 3,000 leaders across 24 countries. Two-thirds reported productivity gains. Only 1 in 5 reported AI actually driving revenue growth. Productivity felt, revenue not banked. It is the corporate version of a diet where the scale refuses to move, but you are quite certain the genes fit differently. The hard money numbers say the same thing from the other direction. The research firm IDC, working with Microsoft, put the average return at $3.70 for every dollar spent on generative AI, which sounds wonderful until you read the next two figures. The median time to reach positive returns was 14 months, and only about a quarter of initiatives actually hit the returns they were meant to. 3 out of 4 missed. In any other capital program you run, a 3 in 4 miss rate gets somebody called into a room with the numbers printed out. There is a structural reason this only gets harder from here. Gartner, the research and advisory firm most of your peers pay to watch exactly these shifts, put it in one line at the start of the month. You are no longer buying software primarily for people, their analysts said. You are increasingly buying it for agents. When the thing using your software is itself a piece of software, working around the clock and never logging in the way a person does, seats stop meaning anything at all. The last proxy you had for value detaches from value entirely. Let me make this concrete. Picture a 500 million euro manufacturer in Lion. Their AI dashboard is a wall of green. 90% of staff have the assistant switched on. Usage climbs every quarter. The renewal is a formality nobody questions. Every single number the vendor puts in front of them is a seat number. And nobody in that building can tell you the cost of one successfully drafted, checked, and shipped customer response, or whether that cost is going up or down. Green dashboard, unknown economics. That is the median company today, and it is why the 57% has not moved. Here is my read. The great AI capability plateau everyone keeps forecasting is not the thing to worry about because it has not arrived. The machines are improving roughly on schedule. The plateau that is real is a measurement plateau, and it is entirely self-inflicted. Firms are running 2-year-old AI programs on adoption metrics they inherited from the software era, then feeling quietly disappointed without being able to say why. You cannot manage what you are measuring in the wrong unit. You can only keep spending into it. The buyers who are getting this right describe it almost exactly the way the vendor does. Domino's own chief operating officer, Thomas Robinson, put it well. Getting a model into production used to be the milestone that mattered, and the real milestone now is the moment a business user can act on what the model found. Deployment was never the finish line, the acted on outcome is, so here is the mirror, and it is uncomfortable on purpose. Take your single largest AI investment, the one with the most budget and the most attention from your top team. Right now, today, could you answer Friar's 4 questions about it? What does one successful outcome cost? Is that cost falling? Can you trust the output without rechecking it by hand? Is the value growing faster than the spend? If the only honest answer you have is an adoption number, seats lit, logins up, everyone delighted, then you do not have a return problem yet. You have a measurement problem, and the return problem is simply what it becomes if you leave it alone. The number on your AI dashboard that you trust the most is very likely the one measuring the least. And the tell of the whole thing is who finally said so out loud. When the company that profits from every token you burn is the one advising you to stop counting tokens and start counting outcomes, the advice is worth taking and the timing is worth noticing. That is the YPO Tech Network AI brief for Friday, July 31st. I am Stephen Forte. If this was useful, send it to a fellow member. I will be back Monday with more. Until then, now stay sharp.